välkomna till Hovstallet. Jag heter Sara Thavenius och jag är beridare här på Hovstallet. Och det betyder att jag är chef för stallavdelningen. Det finns också en bilavdelning. Och jag står här med Miss Philippa Jackson ifrån det engelska Hovstallet som är här på besök.
Hi, I'm Philippa Jackson from London, from the Royal Mews there, and I'm a coachman, and I'm over on a week's exchange.
And I was thinking now that we should go to the coach house and look at our coaches and talk about how we prepare for our next incoming state visit, because I'm sure even there are similarities and differences between how we both do our jobs and prepare. Nu är vi i den nedre vagnhallen och här står några av våra allra vackraste vagnar och de vagnar som vi använder oftast. Och bakom mig, eller bakom oss, så är 7-glasvagnen. Och det är vår svenska stadsvagn och det är den vagn som vi allt som oftast använder vid inkommande statsbesök. Just nu håller vi på att förbereda oss för statsbesök ifrån Portugal. Och när 7-glasvagnen är ute så åker alltid kungen i 7-glasvagnen. Och jag är alltid den som kör kungens vagn. Och det betyder att det är alltid jag som kör 7-glasvagnen. Och den är lite speciell att köra för att den är man sitter högt upp och det gungar ganska mycket. Men nu tänkte jag fråga Philippa lite saker. Philippa, I was going to ask you a little about how you perform your incoming state visits, because obviously there are differences here as well.
Yes, so we normally have 2 state visits a year in London. These can either be at Buckingham Palace in central London or just outside at Windsor Castle. Now, if they're in London, it'll be 7 carriages, so more than you have.
Yes.
And if it's in Windsor, just because we have hills to go up, so it's more horses, we use posted teams for 5 carriages. And normally I'm in the 2nd or 3rd carriage. I'll be riding or driving.
But I'm so curious, who rides in all these carriages? Because in Sweden we always have the king with the visiting head of state in the first carriage, which will always be the state coach. And in the 2nd coach we have the queen with the wife or husband of the visiting head of state. And that's all we have. And then we have the mounted troops before and after our carriages, and that's it.
Yeah.
But you take out so many carriages, and who are riding in all
So
these
we have the same in the first 2 principal carriages, apart from obviously it's our queen in the first carriage and the duke, her husband, in the 2nd carriage. But then it's guests of that country, or sometimes in the 3rd carriage we have other members of the British royal family.
Oh,
yes. So I just think because we have the capacity to put out more vehicles, and it's a tradition to set out that number, that then we manage to fill them. There are always people that want to get in.
I bet there is. Well, we only have 16 horses, and you have about 30 horses.
30, yes, in work in London.
Yes, but then some of them are greys and some are bays, so you can't mix them.
No. So the greys generally will pull the queen, and if we use them on smaller jobs, then they're always the 2nd carriage. But when it's a state visit, they're always out in front and they pull the queen.
That's really nice.
And then we have bay horses for our other 2 teams.
Nu tänkte jag att vi skulle gå och titta på det bästa vi har här på Hovstallet, nämligen hästarna, och prata lite om vad det finns för likheter och skillnader mellan hur vi jobbar med våra hästar. They are all Swedish warm blood, and they are geldings, and they are bay color. But it's not like that in England, is it?
No, we have 3 teams in all, and 1 team's grey horses, and the other 2 are bay horses. And we have a mixture of predominantly Irish Draught for the greys and Cleveland Bays for the bay horses. But it's sort of whatever is a suitable size really that will come in.
So it's important the size of the horse. So they have to be strong enough to pull these obviously rather big and heavy carriages that you have.
That's
and
right.
That we have as well.
Yeah.
And
but we have mares as well as geldings.
oh, you do? I didn't know that.
Yes, so we do have a few mares in each team.
And how do they cope with the jobs?
Generally, they're pretty good. Obviously, we've chosen to keep them because they are suitable.
Yes.
We do have one that's a little bit funny when she's in season, but generally they're pretty good. Yeah.
We don't have any mares. He's one of our younger horses, but he's really, really good. He's 6 years old, and we tend to buy our horses when they are on the autumn, when they're 4-year-old, the year they turn 5, and then we spend about 2 years of daily exercise and training and education of the horse before we can use them fully in all different type of jobs that we do. And the National Day ceremony is obviously the toughest for us.
Yeah.
And for that it may take even 5 years before we can use a new horse for that type of job.
So we have homebreds, but we have a system in place where we train them at Windsor, so they get backed to go under saddle and also basic harness work. And they'll normally spend about a year in Windsor before they come to London. But it will take about 2 to 3 years even of London work before we really trust them to go out in all positions.
I understand that, but then the traffic it's so much more busy in London than what it is here.
It's much more intense, and I think here, even when you take your younger horses out, you have better facilities because you have more open spaces. You don't have to stop and start all the time. So that's great for training your younger horses and also people.
Yes. And we used to break our horses here on the yard, and we always then put them together with an old horse. And that's we need to do it that way in order to get out in the traffic in a rather safe way.
I think that's the same as us. We always pair up with an older, more mature horse that hopefully will just ignore any antics from the younger horse.
Exactly.